Hey, what's up, guys? Darren here with Still River Kayaks and a next episode of Niangua River Raw, where we talk about everything on the Niangua River and everybody on the Niangua River. Today we have
Jon Adler, Niangua River Skallywags.
that's right, Jon here with the Niangua River Skallywags. Jon is a scallywag. He is probably the main scallywag. He is one of the guys that goes out of many scallywags that goes out on the river and cleans it.
Let's explain what
All right,
scallywag is. First.
Yes, let's. I was going to get into
the
that.
Number one question that is
right.
asked. Now, what is scallywag?
Go for it, Jon. What is a scallywag?
Basically mischievous, fun-loving, nurturing of the river. How it all started was I saw these amazing people. I saw people that were adding to what I think is already a perfect river, and a perfect atmosphere and a perfect float. And I thought there's got to be a way to say thank you. And that was literally it. Was I saw these people doing great things, cleaning up, just enjoying the river. There's certain ways to get caught on the river by me, and believe it or not, you don't have to even pick up trash if you are enjoying the river and all that it is. That makes me happy. That makes me happy because that's part of caring for the river is the proper use of it. And we have one of the most beautiful rivers. I mean, I lived literally in Coloma, California on the American River. And I would much rather be on this river any day of the week.
Why is that? What makes this river so special?
It's the people. It really is. It's the people. It's the community. It's people like you and your wife and family who keep things going. Really kind of ignite a passion that hasn't been here year round before, and that's the one thing that I'm noticing. I'm like, this is not like any other off season. Right. We've done more floating in this off season. Weather has been great, but it's the people. And then you just look down in this crystal clear spring fed water. It's kind of hard to beat,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
What do the scallywags do? I mean, you guys go up and clean up the river and find treasures also, right?
Well, yeah, I had this group called Yolo County Bigfoot Association, and what it was a ploy to get kids out of the house and into the woods. And I'll tell you right now, that's all it was, and it worked.
Right.
I don't call it lying, I call it spiritual trickery. And
right.
And what I would do is we would take them out. There might be hair samples that were somehow mysteriously found, and we'd put peanut butter out on branches, and mysteriously while we walked back the same path, peanut butter would be gone, and so there's a lot of signs that we saw some nests and stuff, and they might have been fabricated a little bit, but it got the kids out, and got them excited and got them wanting to go out there and leave the TV, leave the video game controller, and be in nature. And I grew up, I was blessed. I had a creek, and it wasn't a river, it was a creek, but I love that creek. And in fact, CCR's river, Green River, was written about Pewter Creek, the very creek that I grew up on. And water's always been a magical thing to me. It really has. Yeah.
That says something. I mean, it has to me. I mean, even when, we came from Arizona and I lived in Arizona, but I always like to go to the ocean. I always like going to the water, and I don't know if mainly because there's hardly any water in Arizona, but, I've always been drawn to the water. And I think isn't there something with that? Like certain people are drawn, what is that called? That are drawn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like one of those introvert kind of things, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Where you're really drawn to the water.
Yeah, and then upon coming here and then meeting people like Kevin and the rest of Lost and Found, and watching them, That was a beautiful thing. I used to go around. I was a social worker in my past life, and every morning I'd have coffee and I'd grab pickers and walk around with the sharps container, the hood, and pick up used syringes in the alleys and condoms and dispose of them before the kids woke up and went to the school buses.
Right.
And so I've always done that. I've always believed that as humans, we have the opportunity to leave the place better than we found it. And it doesn't matter if it's when you're going to work. It doesn't matter if it's going to the river. It doesn't matter where you're going. It could be going to your friend's house for dinner. You can always leave a situation better than you found it. And that's a simple goal that I've always had and try to share with other people.
Right.
And when you find like-minded people like that, it is. It's like finding your tribe. There's an excitement and then there's, a competitive nature. And, I'm always in the rear for a reason. It's because these guys miss a lot. Okay.
Is that what it is, John?
Yeah.
Is that you're not having safety meetings?
No, it's not.
Should we
safety
explain what a
meetings.
safety meeting is, or should we keep that on the DL? I
A
mean,
safety meeting is an 18-year and older. We group and we talk and yeah,
right.
We have topics.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, some of the topics are pretty way out there. But yeah, no, it's a good time. I mean, we really do. We have a lot of fun, and we are a crazy group. And the craziest thing about it is we got a wrench that fits every nut that comes through that door. We really do.
Yeah.
We love all, we had a new lady that's been floating with us, and she made a really cool post, and she said, I looked for my people for a long time and I finally found them. And that's neat.
Yeah.
That
was just recent, wasn't it?
That was just recent.
That touched me too.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That
she
really
hangs out with another outfitter, but they're pretty good people, so I'll be all right.
They're very good people.
But you're right. I was very happy to see that, and that is the river brings people together. I don't know. I can get all sentimental about it, and
but one of my most emotional times on the river was, and this goes to the Kevin and Anthony and everybody, that picks up the trash along the river. There was a lady floating with their children that comes every year from Kansas. And she caught us. They were floating on a Sunday, and they caught us doing our thing, crawling around on the logs, pulling cans up or whatever we were doing. And then I got back in my boat. We started floating. She comes over. She goes, I always wondered how it stayed so clean with all the people. And that's a testament to the work that the local community does. And it's spurred on, like it starts with the outfitters, setting that example. And it's just kind of the community takes note. And I mean, I'm very proud of that river. And I'm proud of the fact that if you float it right now, you have to actually look for a piece of trash.
Right.
That used to not be the case, you know? And in the summer, it's not the case. But for now, it's beautiful. It is pristine. So, and it doesn't shut down. Come on out, enjoy the water. Sure, it's cold, but muck boots and, powder pants for snow are your friend.
Yeah. I mean, and I've said this before, but it's amazing having everybody, the group and everybody do this because, especially on the weekends in the summer when it's really getting trashed, us outfitters, we don't have time to do that. And although we want to, I've gone out with these guys, after the season because we're so busy. We know what's going on there. You know what I mean? And, and maybe other outfitters, because I'm friends with you guys and I know you guys real well, maybe they don't realize on the work that you do, maybe they just don't know where the trash is going, but at the same time,
I
can't ever blame.
I tend to look at the trash as the treasure, and that's my ultimate goal is the trash. If I happen to find something while looking for the trash, great.
Yeah.
But that's not it. It's the trash. It's just leaving it better. And, I have certain simple rules that I follow. I'm very, I don't know if I'd say OCD or ADD or all of the above, but I won't go on the water until I've already picked up something on the shore. That's just me. I have to do that. I have to walk around and pick something up because I believe at that point, karma then will bestow the gifts upon me. And it does, and the gifts come in very, it could be life lessons. It could, which happen all the time. You and I had a beautiful experience.
But the canoe thing?
Not the canoe thing. That was beautiful though. But no, we did. We shared a moment. And it's times like that I'm like, there's no place on this earth I'd rather be than right here, right now, experiencing this. We are put here for this reason,
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing, and when the people do hit logs and flip over, seeing everybody jump into action, it's a beautiful thing, you know? And, so definitely, I mean, the nature's beautiful, the river's beautiful, but to me, it's the people. It's definitely the people.
Well, what's the craziest thing you found on the river?
I don't know what words I could say on here. I found it was after a specific weekend. I found a rubber, I thought it was a tire off of a monster truck, like a toy monster truck, but then my daughter informed me it was something that you put over an appendage, I guess, for some purpose. I guess it would be a
male body parts.
Yes,
you put it over a male body part for fun experiences.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, it does something,
right?
But yeah. I think it does the same thing as the blue pill. I don't know, but
well, I think you got to get it there before.
But I found cash. Yeah, I mean, cash is the funnest. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever found cash, I seen a floating Dixie plate from across the river, and that's what my eyes saw, and that's what my brain processed. And so I zig over there, and I'm going. And as I get closer, I notice it's not a Dixie plate. It's actually a hat, a white hat, like bucket hat that's floating upside down. Cool. So then I pick it up and I notice it has a pocket. Now, I've never owned a hat with a pocket, and I think that's the greatest thing on the face of this earth.
Right.
So
it's kind of like those kangaroo shoes that used to have the zipper in them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You ever notice they only make cool shoes for kids, and we don't get lighties or rollies or any of those.
We had zippers on our shoes.
Yeah.
But I could never afford those. They didn't have those at Payless.
Nope. But I unzipped. There was a little zipper, and I unzipped it, and I found $49 cash in there. And I made a post on Niagara River Lost and Found, and I said I didn't want to give it away. It's pretty. So I said found an article of clothing with some cash in it. If you can describe the article of clothing,
right,
and the amount of cash, we'll talk. Yeah. And nobody claimed it. And then just 3 weeks ago, I'm floating and I see a fanny pack, and it's like on this. This route map, and pull it off, and I'm going through it, and sure enough, there's $19 in that one. So it's a good thing. So
didn't you used to tell me, if you've said this a few times, that the river provides.
The river provides. It always does, as long as you take care of it. And I see a lot, and I get angry, and I shouldn't get angry, but I do get angry when I see people go and take and take and take and not give back. It's so easy to give back. In fact, while you're taking, you're looking. Okay. I train my eyes for anything that's not there, that shouldn't be there in nature, that and that's just how I train my eyes to look for stuff. If it's not natural, and so certain colors and stuff stand out to me. Blue, for instance.
That comes from living in the city, huh?
It probably does.
Yeah, I know. I lived in the city.
Yeah.
What one of these things just doesn't belong.
Yeah, what doesn't fit in this?
Right.
Yeah, and nature's the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain things that don't, belong in nature. But the river does provide. It has provided food, money, shelter, and more fun than you can shake a stick at.
Right. It's making our video camera here is making noises and screaming at us. Maybe the
I'm
battery's
probably being
dying or
censored
something. I
is
don't
what
know.
it is.
It could be. It could
Yeah,
be.
yeah, it could be censorship.
Well, might be aliens,
Might be.
right?
You don't want to get me going on
No,
that.
that's another episode.
That's another
Yeah.
episode. But I done figured that out a long time ago.
So, well,
I
next
got
time,
proof.
next time we'll wear the tinfoil hats.
We don't need to.
Okay. Anyway, tell me about the rock necklaces.
The rock necklaces were, like I said, I saw the very first person actually that the reason I started it, the recipient has never received one because I've never been able to track her down. And I was hanging out with these fine members of Niagara River Lost and Found, and a lady had flipped over. And it was running pretty fast. And, you know, we all went in and started grabbing stuff, you know, stuff is just floating down and helping them out. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this young lady dives into the rapids head first as if she's trying to save a baby. And she like struggles in these rapids to where I'm trying to grab her and pull her out. And then I get her out and I'm like, what were you going for? And she picked up this little cigarette cellophane. And I thought, you risked your life for that piece of trash? God bless you, you know? And so the river always provides things like rocks. For some reason, the river never runs out of rocks. And I started noticing a lot of rocks that had natural holes in formation. And I decided at that point that that's probably what the river wants me to give to people that I catch being nice to it. And literally that's how it started. The next person was our friend Connie, who simply her aura and her love of the river and her beautification of the river touches me and makes the river a better place. It makes me someplace that I want to go. And so she ended up with one. And of course, I can't even count how many, you know, but my favorites are always the kids. The kids are always the favorite because getting them out there, getting them hunting the treasures, and to see the excitement on their face when they do.
And when they get a rock,
not even when they get a rock, when they are holding up a soggy pizza box that, you know, has been on that. It's amazing. Right? They really, there's a sense of pride. And it's kind of funny because the next thing you know, you can say, hey, we're going to go do this road. And you can get an army of little kids to get off their TVs and leave their video controllers and go hunt treasures on a road, you know? And next thing you know, the road's clean.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Right.
Spiritual trickery. I'm telling you. So, but that's how it started. It was just a way to give back to people from the river. I do believe the river is happy. Yeah. I do believe rivers get sad. I put a lot of faith in the power of a river. I know it can take life. I know it can give life.
Right. What for you? Because we just had this discussion. Mm-hmm. What is the beer in your opinion of the Niangua River?
The number one can is I think it's definitely Busch. Yeah. At least have recent. Now I have noticed a lot of the older cans, the pull tabs, for instance, that you know are 40 years old, and those are fun to find because, I mean, just the fact that something 40 years ago, some guy flipped a kayak drinking his Budweiser, and you found the can. You know, right. It's kind of cool. But recently, Busch seems to be heading in there. Yeah. It seems to be taking the lead. And
we'll have to see this for 2026. Yeah. What the beer is.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep tally.
Unfortunately, I am still seeing glass on the river, and that's one thing that, you know, there's no reason for it. Yeah. And there's certain drinks I know, I ain't gonna name any because, you know, you don't want to hurt any feelings, but that their only choice is glass, and I get that, but it's just not right, you know.
I don't know. I think there's even, you know, I personally, if I drink a beer, I like Corona. Maybe that's coming from Arizona, but they have them in cans. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of them you can't find.
Yeah.
They will have them in cans sometimes,
Yeah.
but not everybody sells them
Yeah.
in the cans.
But glass isn't the problem it used to be, but it is still a problem.
Yeah.
And I think people just need to be reminded, because we all forget. We've all done it and we all forget. And,
Right.
but, that's the one thing that we need to really watch. And it's one thing I still see. And keep track of your Lunchable packages. Those things, those, there's
Really?
more Lunchable packages along the river.
Yeah.
That's probably the number one trash item that I pull up. Is Lunchables. I mean,
Really?
that and shoes. So, but.
What's your grossest river challenge? Are you at the
The
White
soggy,
Pickle
no,
too?
the soggy hot dog. I actually had to retire from it after that.
Really? So you're
for the
done
rest
doing
of
river
the-
challenges or what?
for the season.
Yeah,
for the
well,
season.
You
for the
know,
season,
we're getting
yeah.
into a new season now.
Yeah, no.
Did you throw up?
A little bit in my mouth. And then after that, every single river challenge tasted like that soggy hot dog.
PTSD, huh?
It was. It's bad. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. Can we move on to something else? Yeah.
Well, so I mean, Niangua River Skallywags is also a Facebook page, a TikTok.
TikTok?
I
think that's about it. But yeah.
You're not on Instagram?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Should I be?
I don't know. My Facebook has more followers. I pay more attention to that because I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's maybe because I'm old and it's easier, but
I know how to use it.
Yeah. I mean, I need to, focus on the other, the other things, but like the TikTok stuff, there's so many shorts, short videos that, I guess we don't really do that many funny things, you know what I mean? Snap. So yeah, so on your page, is there any specific, thing that you're really shooting for to post on your page?
Communication. I love seeing everybody at the river, and every time I go out floating, I try to post it.
Right.
And a meeting time, and because there's a lot of people that would go if they knew some, and all are welcome, all are welcome. And so I try to post it every time we go. I try to support local, businesses that support the river. And the other part to it is spiritual trickery doesn't only work with children, it also works with adults. And systematically I've put together a group of like-minded people that I see really big things coming from really soon in the future. I mean, the kind of things that make the world a better place, no ifs, ands, or buts. No one can say anything about it. And that's due to the river, and the flow of the river and the order of the river, how it puts us together. And, and I've gotten to meet some amazing people and new people just come into our lives, paddling through it. I hope you have her on. I really want to hear her story. She is Patty's an amazing, lady. And I'm
sure she'll probably, I haven't asked her yet. I'm still kind of making the rounds, but I think she would.
Yeah.
I think she will.
Well, I made her promise that she's not going to be a stranger, that she'll come down and we'll get to spend some time with her.
I think this was her first time on the river.
Yeah.
And I've followed her for a long time because of like her story and stuff like that. And then I didn't know she was coming out. And then she walked into the store and I was just like, oh, Pat. I screamed. I'm like, Patty. She's like, hey. I'm like, never even met her, never even talked to her.
Yeah.
And she walked in the store. I was so excited.
And that's that whole river family thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, I don't know what it is. You just meet people and it's like,
she is a great soul. She is.
Great soul.
Yeah. But, well, if you had that one piece of river wisdom that you could tell anybody or you want everybody to know.
Life is literally like a river. Okay. Your struggles determine your direction. Every river flows in one direction. If you go with it, you can go forever. If you try to go upstream, you're going to get tired. You're going to get, probably hit your head on a rock and drown. But yeah, it's the same river.
Right.
Why is that? It's because of flow. you know, and I'm big. I believe in flow. I believe that if I'm going through something in life and I'm fighting a tooth and nail, chances are I should probably turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
There's a reason, you know, and that's just my experience.
Yeah.
And what I've gotten out of it was,
Well, sometimes you're going to hit calm waters.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're going to hit rapids. Sometimes the river changes all the time, just like the pathway in life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you just keep going till the end.
Right.
Yep. And then you're sad.
That's it.
I always get depressed right around the last bend. Doesn't matter how many times I float.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the weather is.
Right.
I get a little depressed knowing I'm going to be getting out, you know?
Well,
And
but yeah, I hear you. No, I got you. But then it gets dark, and the water moccasins come out.
Yeah,
and
water
the river.
moccasins.
Yeah, but I was thinking as we're sitting here talking, maybe we can do a river challenge next year. Maybe we could all try, but everybody that goes out and picks up trash, if everybody on one trip, and maybe it's not enough, maybe they got to pick 2 items or something. 1 item on every single trip that they have. Maybe they bring that 1 item back to the store.
Mhm.
And then maybe at the end of the season, if we're able to collect enough stuff, maybe we actually start building a piece of artwork.
That'd be dope. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. I've seen people do artwork out of trash and things that they
Yeah.
find and stuff like that. Maybe it can be maybe we put it out, on the corner or put it out by the store to where we just build this big piece of art, whatever it is. We could all get together and figure out what that piece is that has to do with the river.
Yeah.
And that way people can come by and display it and see it and understand it,
Yep.
But
But
still.
definitely come on out and enjoy it, and
yeah,
if you need anything, Darren, Tiff, they'll take care of you, and they'll probably notify us and we'll ensure that you have a good time.
yeah, absolutely. All right, guys.
All right.
Appreciate you watching, and thanks, John.
All right.
Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate your love.
All right, man.
All right.
Niangua River Skallywags. Check them out. Facebook, TikTok, so on and so forth. It's always great watching these guys, so make sure you give them a follow. All right, guys? See ya.
Goodbye.
All right, good. Let's go.